Back Moonies, thanks for being here. I'm talking about Sailor Moon Crystal Act 16 Abduction, Sailor Mercury. Right off the bat, I really enjoyed that I was hearing that serious tone and the anger from Sailor Moon towards Chibiusa, that anger that I was so severely lacking in that other episode. I got it on this episode. And then, of course, Usagi went right back to being her sweet, wonderful self that was so upset and regretful that she could be so angry with just a child. Gotta love Usagi. It was a special occasion for me a little bit because I have to say I think the voice actor for Chibiusa did an amazing job, because this is the first time that I have personally ever felt truly sorry for Chibiusa. I was really feeling that. So great job, VA, because that was huge. I'm shocked. Like, I really was feeling bad for her, which was major for me, because I never felt sorry for her because she was so bratty in the original. So good job. I think it's funny because this episode for me personally kind of drives home the serious tone of this show. Like it's just like an underlying seriousness with the main characters for me. I just kind of noticed like they were a lot more serious. And I mean, yes, the show is overall serious, which is honestly one of the aspects that I absolutely love about Crystal in general. But this to me was one of those episodes, for some odd reason, it just kind of jumped out at me. And yes, the other ones before this were also serious, but I think it might be because we were focusing more on Mercury and we know she's serious, but yet we get a glimpse of her and kind of her internal struggle in this one. And I think it might be like we kind of take Ami for granted because she's the solid one, she's the smart one, she's the serious one all the time. So I think that might have been why I'm thinking it's a little more serious. I'm not really sure, but you just kind of get that glimpse of her and her life and her struggle with her dad, etc. And I don't know, it was just different for me this time. It's like the whole show is serious, but I think because we kind of take for granted maybe Ami's situation, that she's just the solid, dependable one, and then we forget, she's got problems too. Still don't like Wiseman's voice. I'm sorry. I can't take that seriously. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't sound right to me personally. That's my opinion. Although I do like Berthier's voice, so there's that. It was funny though, that moment when Ami was listening to the water, that was a really soothing moment, wasn't it? And speaking of water, that moment when Usagi and Naru were in the pool, and I don't know why, but it was just like this blip of a second, like a few seconds where I was like, oh, that kind of reminded me when she kind of knocked Amy over in the pool. I was like, oh, that kind of reminded me of the silly Naru that we got in the original Sailor Moon. Just a weird thing I noticed. Although I did forget how, like Berthier, man, when her and Ami were playing chess, and she was a biatch, man. Ooh, but you gotta love Usagi and her exuberant personality that just completely disregards all public decorum. Go team friendship. Checkmate. Yet alas, even with Mercury putting up the awesome fight that she did and Moon Princess Halation from Sailor Moon, Mercury wound up in the same predicament as Mars. So that will take us on to next week, which is Act 17, Secret, Sailor Jupiter. Oh, and just a side note on this episode, Rubius is a twerp. Am I the only one that feels that way? Anyway, thanks for being here. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe. Until next time, Moonies.